20 seconds ish till we get started. It's a big delay. All that. Hey guys. I've come to you many times. I said the stories in my last things. I've told you about, well, mostly the Omniverse and all that, how we went through it. What I'd not tell you is about another story of mine. A story that's as old as since my childhood. I will tell you it now. I called them, as the title says, Dimensionals. You may ask, what are Dimensionals? Well, I shall tell you now. Now, imagine this. Imagine it as its grain of salt. 13 oceans, or well, multiverses in a vast omniverse. These 13 specifically is where our story begins. Well, in one of them, of course. The first one being called the First Ocean, a fitting name for all 13 oceans. And we start on a world called Vigaria, homeworld of the Vigarians. Now the Vigarians were sort of like us and sort of not like us. Both us and them are different. They are more reptilian based, but that's the description, not the story. I shall go on the story. The Vigarians were born on the world Vigaria. They were vast and strong, warrior-like and beautiful. 7 different clans of their species existed on their homeworld. They sought peace in some cases, and they sought peace through conflict in other cases. But they did most of this peace through their own slaughter of their own people. Both sides, Vigarian and their subspecies, the Vigorines, or whatever they're called. I can't remember their name fully. As you may see, my head isn't that good. But on with the story. The Vigarians wanted to explore more, but due to their warrior-like nature, they kept fighting each other. It didn't take long for another species, called the Kokorians, of one of their 5 moons, Kokoria, Fusaria, Vigari, Fusaria, Necphoria, Fladoria, and Xenomorphia. The advanced Kokorians attacked the world of Vigaria with brutal force. The Vigarians would have gone extinct had it not been for 7 individual Vigarians they called the Great Seven. These 7 individuals saved their homeworld, fighting off the Kokorians using their own weapons, their own advanced weapons, per se. The war lasted for at least 30-40 years. As it continued, the Vigarians sought a more unified empire for their people. They didn't know what to call this empire at first, so they decided to fly out into the stars, using the technology the Kokorians had. And luckily, the Kokorians had their own technology. They accepted this because, well, they were defeated. Well, it didn't take long for the Vigarians and Kokorians to meet the other species of their system. Each species of these species were from the other moons, the Fladorians, Xenomorphians, and Necphorians. The Fladorians and Necphorians were in a brutal conflict with each other. Both sides hated each other, for what reasons we could not know today. Territory, blood, relations, racial relations, it doesn't really matter to them. But the Vigarians decided to take action because of one simple thing. The moon Xenomorphia was being brutally attacked by these 2 species as they fought and fought. The Xenomorphians were being put through extinction. So the Kokorians and Vigarians put a foot in the plans of the war, stopping the war fully. But it didn't help much. The Xenomorphians didn't have much. So the Vigarians, Kokorians, Xenomorphians, Necphorians, and Fladorians came up with a sort of pact. They called it, well, the Vigarians were in lead, so they called it the Vigarian Militant. This militant would grow in size and number, across their own universe, across what they had. They met other species, of course, but most of these other species were more docile, animal-like. so they didn't really consider them, how should I say, intelligent. But they went through a sort of civil war, per se. Later on, in the years and the years and the years, they discovered an element they called a crystal, called purple, or well, not purple, but iridium. This crystal would fuel their ships, fuel everything that they had. Now, along with what they had knowledge of, the crystal was limited to them. So they sought out other things. They tried to make sure that the crystal wasn't limited. But with every other thing, the crystal grew and grew more limited. Thus, the Vigarians were thrown into decisions making. Soon, those decisions and talks spread into riots, conflict between the clans, and then full-on warfare. So much, the Vigarians almost threw their entire species into a brutal near extinction. Had it not been for some logical reasoning between the two species, between the species of their kind. You see, iridium is not only used as a fuel source, but it can also be used as a weapon of mass destruction. Just one crystal can level an entire city, per se. It was not perfect. It was not good. But the Vigarians knew that this resource needed to be used carefully. So they came up with a new way. They built a gate. A gate that would allow them to go through different universes so they can look for more resources, things that they could find hope. And they did it. They used the crystals to power what they would call the Stream Space Gate. A stream space. A vast border bridge that leads into the multiverse, other universes and their own multiverse. They used this gate, and it went through other universes, colonizing them. And through time, there was peace. Through time, there was no war, there was no bloodshed. As they continue on, going through each gate, building these gates, they found another gate, but it wasn't built by them. No, this gate, it was new to them. So, they explored it, tried to study it, see who built it, how old it was. It was as old as their own gates, but it wasn't theirs. That was until the builders finally arrived. A peaceful species called the Zephyrians. They were not warrior-like like the Vigarians, but more diplomatic-like. This species saw the Vigarians as friends, explorers, per se. So the two species went to diplomatic ties, trade agreements. These Zephyrians found ways to mine the crystals, the iridium, easily and more effectively without it, exploding. So, with that knowledge, both species went to a sort of pact, an agreement between them. And together, they explored their own little region of the first multiverse. And they had a few ups and downs, pirates, of course, and all that. And they met other species, more primitive species. They would soon call the fringe or the minor factions. Now these factions would soon, in future tales, which we will get to soon, well, not soon, later on in the story, of course, these fringe species would be a vital part. But now on to the story. These other fringe species, the Orions, the Razorbacks, the other species. Sorry, it's been so long since I've named them all, so it takes a long time. But as they went on exploring, colonizing new worlds, some decided to venture outside their home region, colonizing those worlds to see what they could find out there, see what piece of relics they could see. That was when those colonies started disappearing, one after the other. Everyone believed it to be glitches in the system, radio transmission not getting interfered with, void storms and such. But it didn't take long for it to find that reason. They sent a battle fleet to one such colony that had disappeared. The battle fleet never returned. It never returned home. So, the Vegarians, with their best ships and weapons, created a new battle fleet, one that was more armed to the teeth, and they sent it off to that world. The battle fleet came back with damage. 3 out of the 56 ships returned. And after that debrief and all that, the battle fleet agreed to go into a terms of events. It was soon found out that this enemy had now sent a transmission after they found out who we knew they were. They called themselves the Collectorians, a violent alien race. And for some reason, they looked similar to the Vegarians. No one knew why. No one didn't want to know why. But one thing for sure that they knew. They were at war. The Vegarians and the Collectorian War had begun. The first worlds to be attacked and to be the first battlefields of this war. One such world called Tak Al-Qura. This world was a mining world filled with iridium crystals, so it was very valuable to both sides. Both sides wanted these crystals, but the Vegarians knew that they had to hold the planet. That is why the Silver Legion, the defensive fleets and faction of the Vegarian militant, was sent to protect it. 75 ships against 387 Collectorian warships. The Vegarians didn't have enough ships at that time due to their more exploration type deal, and that their faction is a bit spread thin. So they couldn't send fleets to assist those worlds They had to defend themselves until reinforcements, or what left of other reinforcements that they could spare, could be sent to assist. For 8 years, the war went on. That was when 2 years in those wars, after those, a new enemy came. An enemy they did not expect. A very militant warrior faction called the Kantarians. These Kantarians were pale-skinned and black-haired, but they were a warrior faction nonetheless. They attacked with brutal force, attacking the Vigarians and soon the Collectorians. Without reason they did so. It didn't take long for the Vigarians and the Kantarians to come to an agreement. Both sides came to a steady agreement. They would not fight each other until so as long as they don't attack each other. So the Vigarians and Kantarians allied together, fought against the Collectorians, won many battles, lost many soldiers. Had it not been for the warrior might of the Mechanarchon, a sort of cybernetic species with cyborg technology, then the war would have been lost. Thus, the Collectorians were forced to enter into a treaty. And the treaty was to say that the Collectorians was to sort of submit to the Vigarians and the Kantarians. It was agreed upon at first, and a celebration was held on Vigaria between the Kantarians and Vigarians as a sort of thank you gift between the two species for joining the war and ending it righteously. But such hopes were laid low. The Collectorians made a sneak attack on the homeworld of Vigaria. But they didn't attack Vigaria directly. They attacked the moon of Kokoria. They allied to the Vigarians, and they attacked it with a might unseen before. They used a weapon called a planet killer. They destroyed the moon of Kokoria. And over 1,000 millions of lives were lost in an instant because of that weapon. So, the Vigarians and Kantarians went into another war again, but the Vigarians faction called the Forerunners did not settle with this. They did not take kindly to what the Collectorians did to the Collectorians. They did not take it lightly. So, both factions and their bravest minds and scientists agreed to build a weapon of vast imaginable power. They called it the Horizon Weapon. At first, this weapon was to be sort of used in a test run. So they tested it on a battlefield that was being fought between the Kantarians, Vigarians, and Collectorians. Sorry. So when the weapon was placed outside the system, hopefully, and luckily the Collectorians didn't notice it until it was too late. The weapon was fired, and the Clitorians, Vigarians on that battlefield were destroyed. All life in the system destroyed, except even the weapon users were killed, vaporized into dust. At first, the test was congratulated, thankfully, and the sacrifices were accepted, of course. They knew what they were doing. But what they did not expect was that the weapon worked too well. It launched all the way out into space to another nearby system that was classified as a primitive world. It had a sort of medieval Renaissance society on it. The species was, of course, unknown for one reason. The weapon destroyed them. Destroyed all of them. In an instant before they even knew it. The Vigarians gave grief to this. Because how could they think that this weapon was a success when it destroyed something that was not necessary to be destroyed? So the weapon was shelved, and thankfully the Clitorians were reasonable enough to side with the Vigarians and Kantarians for a peace treaty. And both sides agreed. But soon they would venture out into the Vandone again. But the Vigarians, knowing that the war would continue on, or well, not the war, but a war, they decided to agree to a sort of defensive pact. The Clitorians, Vigarians, and Kantarians agreed to a defensive pact, including, and soon the Zephyrians joined in, luckily. But such defensive pacts only lasted so long. A new enemy had come, called the Dark Ones. This enemy was of the Void. Came out of nowhere and attacked all four factions, who came to a pact called the Four-Star Alliance. The factions didn't consider each other a threat, because the Dark Ones didn't seem like a threat to them. Oh, so sadly they were wrong. The Dark Ones were a threat. And good grief, they proved it very, very well. Many lives were lost. Needlessly lost. Killed in a war that they had no part of. So, Four-Star Alliance agreed to the war. They went to war. And it lasted for years. Almost 3 decades. 30 years. 30 years that war went on. So, after those 30 years, after those years and years of battle, the factions agreed to a peace treaty. And a sort of legion was made, known as the Five Legions. And once again, the Vigarians knew that such a battle would happen again. So, they agreed to build defenses called Riparias. These Riparias, or Reapers in this case, were to be the defensive guard of the Vigarian militant and the Four-Star Alliance, or the Five Legions at this point. But not without some consequence. As time went on, the Reapers decided to go against the Vigarian militant. An all-out rebellion started between them. And soon, the factions that were there they didn't last long. Many primitive worlds were destroyed. The AI faction that was created by the Vigarian militant was near extinction again. And both sides faced great consequence. Had the Vigarians had not built these Reapers and knew how to defeat them easily, this would have been a very short story. So, the Vigarians agreed to put in the failsafe. Thus, the war lasted for only 50 years, possibly less. Once the war was over, the factions that were there decided to agree to an exile. They exiled the Reapers to the Ark, where they were built first. And they agreed that the Reapers would stay there for all their life, for all eternity. Now, both sides wanted to continue the exploration, and then the Reclaimers were built. But of course, the Reclaimers, not to want the Vigarians and the other species not wanting something like what happened with the Reapers to happen again, they agreed to send those people to the Ark, to deep space to be exiled again. Hopefully never to be built or rebuilt. But the Five Legions had their own problems. Again, after years of peace, 2 other factions were made in the other regions that they've explored. The Neutrara Factionera, or the Neutral Factions, who would soon be called the Factions of Neutrality, the Vesper Neutrals, and all that. And the third faction being the Dominion, a more militant faction, unlike the peaceful Five Legion. Both sides thought their best and worst. Soon, they thought to continue going on. Thus the war ended. Thus the war, their war. Well, it wasn't really a war, but more diplomatic war. There was no bloodshed being spilled, thankfully. And after all that, they agreed to a peace treaty. But this peace treaty was different than any other. They agreed to a unity. Thus, the unification was born. And that's my story. That's all I have to say. It's a long, long story. I hope you all enjoyed that little chapter of that story. And hopefully, we can continue on more. It wasn't very short. It was very short, but we'll continue on. Let's go play some World of Warships. So I'll see you all there when that happens. Till then, I was your host, Sci-Fi Wonder. Till then, see you all there. Have a lovely day. Actually, no, wait. Not ending the stream, so I'm just gonna be right back. So, be right back, guys. We're gonna go on the other one.
Alright. Please be back. Oh wait, you can't see my screen because patience. Alright. Let's see. Screen alright? Oh yeah, thought so. Thank you. There we go. Make sure that works, make sure that works, make sure that works. Oh, make sure that everything works. Hey. There you are. Last game. Hopefully that story was actually pretty good. I plan to do more of that. Okay, that's gonna take a while to load, of course, as well. Hopefully. You know what? I forgot to. I forgot to do something. And can the game load? Jeez! Game's taking its pretty harsh time. Let's see. I think it's not loaded yet. Game load! Oh wait, it has load. Did. Ish. It's just not showing its face. Thank you! Ah, I see it's barely, but it's there. Ah, there we go. Oh yeah, we were doing this. Construction components. Gosh. I need like 1,000,000 of them. 1,000,000? 1,000,000, I say. Let me open my freaking things with freaking construction components. Alright. Time for work. Yeah, probably. Wait, no. Okay, wait. I need like 1,000,000 construction components. Like 1,000,000? That's gonna take a lot. I don't think we have that many resources. Why am I not pressing the red button? I can't move. Okay, there we go. Jeez. I was pressing E instead of W. I'm an idiot. Assembly. Here, let's start making construction ones for me. Start making 1 million of these. 1 million of these. 1 million of these. 1 million of these. Yeah, well, just make 1 million, okay? Just make 1 million of each. Where's the, there it is. Alright, let's get back to work. Alright, where is the thing? There's the thing. What? Ah! Of course, these small steel tubes. And thank you guys for listening to the story. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. I tried, because that's the first chapter. The unification one. Then I'm going to go on with the other one soon. Possibly. If I can, that is. It'll take a while, probably. So, you'll probably see it next day, one day, someday, I don't know. For fudge's sake, really? Freaking construction. I have to like get 1 million construction components because the freaking ore refinery down here ain't doing much. Wait, are you even actually... Are you actually getting stuff? No, you're not. Great. I have an idea. Stupid idea, but it's an idea nonetheless. Alright, let's bring them all up. First of all, turn off these drills. Alright. And reverse. Fuck. Oh. Huh, interesting. Okay. Alright. Once these are all up. Yeah, they are. Okay, good. Ow. I'm gonna do something very stupid. Jeez, that is a long drop. That is a... Oh, I nearly saved myself. Holy shit. Oh, okay. Let's be careful this time. Let's be careful instead of falling to our deaths. I have an idea. It's a stupid idea, but it's an idea nonetheless. I wonder, can I place one right here? I would. I need steel plates. Okay, steel plates. So I can build something there. Oh, shit. Okay. Let's not run into the wall, please. Thank you. Let's grab some stuff. All Alright. Hey, Margarita. Come on. Thank you. Okay. What? No, I kind of figured not that way. Okay, I guess things are in the way. Get rid of all this. Hopefully that will work. Hopefully, I don't know. For all we know, it could blow up. For all we know. For all we know, this could be the explosion point of a disaster. If I could... Okay, I can put it the other way, but I can't put it this way. Guess we have to dig this way. Further this way. Let's go. Where's the drill? Oh, there's the drill. Okay, make sure. Put the drill. Okay, this way. Cut this off. Alright. Now, can we put the drill here? For the love of God, can I please put a drill here? Okay. Maybe I have to... How far do I have to dig down? Kind of running out fumes here. Oh. Care of that. Number 9. Aha! I got it. Let's take you. Actually, no. Let's do this. Come on. There we go. There we go. Okay, judging by the looks of it, this hole is kind of empty now. But there's opportunity here. Let's put all the stuff we have back here. And let's grab our hydrogen bottles. Rip this apart. Let's not rip that one apart yet. Thank you. Alright, let's put this away. Because I has idea. Idea might blow up, so bear in mind. Okay, yeah, oh yeah, this one we can move off. Oh, not! Or not. There we go. Jeez. Trying to kill me here?
Inventory full.
Okay. Alright. Okay, let's Put this back in here. Okay, let's see. Okay, that doesn't go there. Here it goes. Okay, that goes there. That, come here. Oh gosh, we have lots of stuff. Thank goodness this thing takes a lot of stuff. Okay, come on. Rip this one off. How many are there? 2. So we rip this one off first. Ha ha ha. Because I have an idea. What if we add one and then put it in a line? Because I don't plan like leaving this area. Because it's going to be automated. It's going to all be automated. Hopefully automated. Hopefully. But there's a chance that it could blow up. Or maybe not. I don't know. Possibly. Probably. Alright. Oh, we also need a lot of things in health and yada yada yada. Alright. Alright. Okay. Now, the tricky part. Let's go to our... Put all this stuff back first. Because this is all going to be useful. Take you out first. Okay. Put you in here. Okay, we can get that much. Okay, good. Good. Because that's how much we're going to need for this experiment. For this little mining experiment. Actually, no. Let's not do it that way. Let's do it this way. Okay. Okay, yeah, looks like we're gonna have to... Come on. Come on. There we go. Yeah. Crouched. Jeez. Yeah, okay. There we go. Okay, wait, we have to cut this off too. Just in case. Because there's always that one piece that doesn't work. Nine. Okay. Okay, there we go. That doesn't work. Okay, let's do this. Actually, no, that's stupid. That's stupid. No, that is a horrible design. No. Okay, there we go. Does that work? Ish. we plan to go down there. This can be a weird mining system, that's what's for sure. Question is, how do we plan on mining it? Because we're going to need to figure out how to do that. Well, looks like we're going to have to figure out later. This is going to be a little bit of a short. Yes, sadly. So, hopefully you all enjoyed the stream. Well, either how short it was to me. I will be streaming tonight, I promise that. So, until then, hopefully you all enjoyed the story and a little bit of Space Engineers. Until then, see you all later. Have a lovely, lovely day. As always, I was your host, Sci-Fi Wonder. Till then, see you all later.